Good evening, everyone. Are you able to see my screen? Hello. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we were discussing about a little bit brief about automation. So there we were discussed uh, drawbacks of manual testing, advantage of automation testing, disadvantage of automation testing, and what are the factors to be considered to go for automation. Any questions, anybody? Uh, yeah. Yeah. All framework how you are coming up with for most of the projects, most of the frameworks these days you are coming up with is common now. Okay. That is what it's not like always excel files, so you can pass your test data even ini files or text files. These days people are using quality center itself directly for passing data. BPT framework I'm talking about, right? Business process testing framework. So there you don't use any of the external files even. Directly in quality center itself, very recently latest version of your quality center they come up with. So there itself you can pass, but the approach is like you will be passing the data. So how you pass is there are so many ways: XML, Excel, text file, INF file, or something, whatever it is. Exactly. Even a summary report and in detail report also. It's not like stable like XLS files. You can send it out through text files or INF files. You can generate test reports, XML reports, HTML reports, or even directly in your quality center. But along with quality center results, these are additional. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's not only civil. It doesn't mean like that. I have told you like example. Like that SAP also. SAP also like civil application. SAP also like CRM, right? So 10 projects they are using SAP. So you can come up with on BPT framework can handle 10 projects. Exactly Oracle apps. It's not you can not say like CBL is BPT exam, BPT framework. So you have to come up with BPT framework means see uh, multiple projects you have to come up with you come up with common framework means that is what you can say BPT framework. It's not like CBL is BPT framework. You have different projects for handling multiple projects. You come up with a framework that is BPT framework. But that is the situation you have to come up with means same technology. Here is not like CBN. Okay, so you have to come up with multiple projects. Same framework means those projects should be same technology. 10 projects they were developed with Java. You can come up with BPT framework. What is the problem? Exactly .NET 10 projects they were used. So you can come up with .NET like BPT framework. Okay, it's clear, right? It's clear, right? Yeah. Exactly, the real meaning is like a test script is nothing but your automated test script. But these days, even your test cases also people were calling as test scripts. Manual test cases also, okay? People were calling it as like test scripts. That means like some programmatic logic they will implement even now. Okay? Normally, test scripts means your automated test scripts. No doubt there. But people were calling even manual test case also like test scripts. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Right, right. Yeah, right, right. Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So functionality, yeah, yeah, it doesn't mean. Yesterday I have told, right? If you want to come up with the automation for complete application, absolutely no problem. You can come up with. But the problem here is like uh, today real world IT industry if you take, do you have any application like 100% stable functionality? Okay, so it even you can come up with. So the requirements of frequency changing means it's not like you cannot automate. You can automate even those frequently changing functionality modules also. But the problem here is your automated few test scripts. Let us suppose a charting feature. Okay, so after few days they come up with change requests for that module. Again, what you have to do? You have to re-put your efforts for updating the existing test scripts. So these are the different issues, difficulties you will face if you go for like 100% of the automation. That is the reason what you do is like whatever the function it is, whatever the application it is, at least some modules you have stable functionality, right? Okay, so those stable functionality related test cases you will pick up to go for automation. If you want to like one application you have is stable, it will never get very letters also. Okay, so you can go for 100% automation. I have developed, I have worked for two projects that is 100% automated. Okay, yeah, no problem, we can automate. Exactly, that is what. If your application is stable 100% of the application, what are the modules you are having in your application having stable functionality letters as well, very well you can go for 100% automation, absolutely no problem. Okay, no problem. Okay, any more questions? Yeah, pretty good questions. So like this, you have any more questions? Anybody? No questions? Okay. So that is nothing but like little bit brief about your automation introduction. So nobody have any more questions means what we do is like we go for types of automation tools available. Okay. So in our IT industry, if you take normally there are three types of tools you will come up with. So if you take IT industry, there are so many tools available, but which are the tools we are discussing? These tools with respect to testing, that is what you have to remember. Okay, so these tools with respect to testing. So if you think about it like There are three types of tools you will come up with. Those are functionality testing tools, performance testing tools, and test management tools. Okay, so and another tools also with respect to license, if you talk about it, so there are two types of tools: open source tools and licensed tools. Again, licensed tools, if you take, there are two types of licenses, like seat license and permanent license, like concurrent license. Okay, so that is what we discuss step by step. Functionality testing tools, there is nothing much to explain like functionality testing tools. Very simply I have to define means like to validate functionality of the applications, functionality of any of the project, you will come up with functionality testing tools. Okay, so three competitive technologies or three competitive tools available. Those are nothing but like from HP, from SEG, and from IBM. These are the three companies providing your functionality testing tools. So from HP, that is nothing but like WinRunner and QTP. WinRunner and QTP tools were originally developed by Mercury Interactive, okay, later taken over by Hewlett Packard company. So nowadays, uh, these tools are nothing but like HP tools. And remember another thing, WinRunner was expired tool, you can say. Nowadays, nobody is going for, but QTP is the latest trend we are having. Okay, so this is we'll be discussing about like QTP tool in detail. So at the time you'll get to know. As of now, you remember this is the stuff. And another important thing is like in the year of 2008, these tools taken over by HP. Then SEG also another company come up with Silk Test. Okay, exactly like that. IBM also they come up with their own tool that is nothing but like RFT, rational functional test suite. Okay, so if you talk about like these are the licensed tools different companies were come up with. And with respect to license, if you talk about like there are two types of licenses: open source tools and licensed tools. Open source tools means from your internet you can download with free of cost and use it. But licensed tools means you have to spend budget. Okay, so licenses again are of two types: seat license, also you can consider it a like permanent license, concurrent license. Seat license means lifelong. How many days you want, whole your life you can use it up. So cost will be in crores. Okay, too costly. But concurrent licenses means user basis, like 3 users or 4 users, something like that. They will take and go for. Okay, that is nothing but like concurrent license. Normally, concurrent license, if you go for one server, they will keep two or three or something like that. They will point it out to that server and can handle. That is how it will work. Okay, so that is nothing but like concurrent license. Concurrent license cost will be in like per year per license. Okay, 5 lakh Indian rupees. And even these days they were reduced costs for QTP. Okay, HP for all the tools they were reduced costs heavily. Okay, and even you may be aware of like these tool license, they may go for month by month also, monthly also you can go for. Okay, you want only for 6 months, very well you can go for. Okay, so these are nothing but like licensed tools. So what are the opens, these are the licensed tools if we go for like QTP, Silk Test, and RFT is nothing but rational functionality test suite. Then Open source tools, if you go for Selenium, Auto IT, Test Complete, Z Unit, N Unit, like that, so many tools you will come up with. Okay, so many tools you will come up with, but in all these tools, Selenium is getting familiar these days, and few companies even using Auto IT and Test Complete. Remember another important point, so many companies, so many projects, they come up with their own tools. If you go for like that, thousands of tools, hundreds of tools available in your IT industry. Okay, so is it really possible to learn all these tools? Really, it's not required. What to do is like, trend is mostly for QTP, and nowadays it's going for like Selenium. So what you can do is like, one tool you get expertise, so that process, standards, everything will be same whatever the tool you go for. Only the thing is syntactic rules or grammatical rules make it vary. With a little bit guidance, if you learn any of the tool, you can get into your own. So that is why I suggest one tool you get familiar, like end to end, complete, like framework, process, strategy, everything. If you get to know, then, and like Word you are using, what are the commands you use in Word? In Excel also you use same commands, right? Do you use any different commands in Excel? But little bit functionality wise, if you take, it will be little bit vary. So that is what, if you get to know, then you don't want to worry. Any of the tool you can get into very easily. So that is what I mean. So in all these tools, uh, like usage wise, if you go for market sharing basis, if you go for 50% of the market QTP taking. Okay, 50% of the market owned by like QTP. Then remaining 50% all other tools like Selenium, Auto IT, Test Complete. Even these days they come up with like Visual Studio also. Visual Studio also, they were coming up with their own tool. .NET license you purchase, right? There itself, why don't you come up with your automation tool? That's what they thought of, like coming up with automation tool, but that is very hard. Okay, okay. So QTP is sharing like 50% of the market, 5% silk test, 5% RFT. Selenium is these days, if you go for means 10 to 15%, and remaining all other open source tools you can go for like 20% around. You can go for all other open source tools. Okay. So difficulty wise, if you go for this, is nothing but like with respect to market sharing. QTP, very easy tool, anybody can work with very easily, even though you are from non-computers background, even though you are from non-technical field, non-computers, non-programmatic skills you have, means still you can get into QTP very easily. But silk test, it's not that much easy to work with silk test if you are from non-computers background. Okay, if you are from non-computers background, means it's really hard to work with silk test. So if you go for silk test, how will be the code is like uh, like C programming language. Have you ever seen? Exactly like that it will be. But remember, if you are from computers background, you have programmatic skills, means it's pretty much interesting working with your silk test. Okay, it's very interesting. And if you go for a QTP, so many environment issues you may face. Once you execute, next time it may not execute due to environment issues or configuration issues. But silk test, once it's executed, means 100% of the cases execution will be very fast, and it will provide you, it will get executed. You don't face those many issues whatever you face with QTP. Okay, so it's pretty good work with silk test. Only the thing is technical. Even though you are from non-computers background, if you go, if you plan well and go for silk test, you can get into very easy. Okay, but you have to work a little bit hard. Then RFT tools really, it's very hard. Okay, very hard to work with RFT tools. Those are not that much flexible. Selenium, you have to go for Selenium means you should be aware of like Java, exactly like that. Selenium also like silk test. Okay, so it in your hands. If you are from non-computer background means you have to learn Java, then you can go for silk test. Okay, so then auto IT and test. Before that, very high level, what is the difference between like open source tools and licensed tools? If you talk about it, open source tools, if you go for before that uh, licensed tools we go for. So licensed tools provide 80% built-in features and 20% you can customize. 20% you can customize. Okay, so what are the tool you go for? Like built-in features you will come up with, right? Tool will provide you 80% of the features to automate any of the application. Additionally, 20% you will come up with, like driver script I was talking about yesterday. That is not QTP built-in feature, so you have to come up with in your own using VB script. Exactly like that, you're passing test to data through XLS file. You have to read data from XLS file. Again, QTP doesn't have built-in feature. So you have to come up with your own VB script kind of functions for reading data from XLS file. Whenever you execute your QTP test script, it will give you its own result, like QTP result. But those one clients, if you pass it, they may not understand. That is the reason while executing, you will come up with like summary and in detail kind of reports, either way like XML files or HTML files or text files or XLS files. But the summary and in detail kind of report, again, you don't have QTP built-in feature. How you have to come up with? You have to use VB script. Like that, licensed tools, if you go for 80% built-in features they will provide you, 20% you have to customize. But open source tools, it's completely opposite. So 20% built-in features they come up with means 80% you have to come up with. Only it will help you like open source Selenium or something like that. If you go for 20%, whatever the tool is providing the features, those one you can use, but 80% you have to come up with your code. If you go for Selenium, you will get like three versions in your Selenium. Those are Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, and WebDriver. Selenium IDE, you will come up with like a recording option. Selenium IDE, you'll get like recording feature. Like in Bing Journal or QTP, you'll get recording option, right? Exactly like the Selenium IDE, you'll get RC is nothing but remote control. RC is nothing but remote control. Okay, and WebDriver is the latest version of Selenium. But remember, RC and WebDriver don't have even record feature. What does it mean? You have to completely come up with your coding. Normally, Selenium is not functionality testing tool. Okay, so that is unit code, unit testing kind of stuff. Initially, you may be aware of like developers once they come up with code, they themselves have to test their code, right? That is the reason initially they come up with Selenium. The name itself like JUnit or JUnit. JUnit is nothing but Java unit. Okay, so unit. Once they come up with code, they themselves have to test their code, right? That is nothing but unit testing. So for that purpose, the name itself they were given you like Java unit, JUnit. Okay. After that, they made it as like your functionality testing tool with your latest versions. Okay, so that is the purpose of like your Selenium. It doesn't mean like you have to come up with code means it may be hard or something like that. It doesn't mean. Only the thing is it depends on you. If you are from non-computer background means if you go systematic way, if you go planned way, okay, then it's very easy to work with. It's very interesting even. Okay, it's very interesting even. Okay, so that is nothing but like selenium. uh, so with respect to license, with respect to that is what costly wise. So qtp is very cheap when compared to qtp. Silk test is costly, rft tools are very costly. Okay, so budget wise if you take qtp is very cheap, selenium silk test is costly, IBM RFT tool is too costly. Okay, so these are the different things you have to remember. Open source tools means you can completely use with free of cost. So these are nothing but like your functionality testing tools, both like open source as well as licensed tools. But in all these tools, one tool like qtp, if you get expertise, then Selenium also will be covering you like very high level. Then you have to work a little bit hard. Then you can get it. Okay. So in order to validate performance of any of the applications, so performance testing tools comes into picture. In order to validate performance of any of the application, so performance testing tools comes into picture. So again, three companies come up with like performance testing tools. Those are nothing but like load runner from HP, from SEG silk performer, rft is nothing but rotational functionality test suite. Why you are calling, what do you mean by suite? Is nothing but combination of set of. So RFT tool, why you are considering it like too costly? They don't relieve independently. Like functionality testing is separately, performance testing is separately. It doesn't. Okay, what they do is like all in a combination, like a suite, like functionality, performance, and management tools. They release in the form of like suite. That is the reason you may feel like costly. Okay, so that is the reason now RFT you will call it as rational functionality test suite. It includes all functionality, performance, and test management tools. That is what you have to remember. Okay, so this is nothing but like performance testing tools. Like that, so many open source tools are also available, like web manager, web load, like so many tools are available. So that day I'm starting with performance testing. That day I will explain you. So as of now you remember this is the stuff. So this is nothing but like performance testing tools. Then test management tools comes into picture. Okay, one example I will tell you. In India, 3 or 4 years back, Tata Indicom, they come up with one plan. What is the plan? Tata prepaid, true paid. You are taking 10 seconds. Why you want to pay 1 minute bill? You are from India means you will be able to understand. Okay, so like that prepaid means how many seconds you speak. Only for that time you can pay. That is nothing but Tata prepaid prepaid. At that time it was flapped. That plan was flapped. After few years they come up with Tata Docomo. So this is also one paisa plan. But this time it got huge success. All other telecom companies also switched to this plan. That much it got impacted the industry. Now my question here is like Tata prepaid prepaid, that plan was flapped. That is the reason they corrected that entire system. So now they plan to come up with Tata Docomo. What they have to do? Again they have to start from scratch, right? But my point here is like why don't they keep that system somewhere, and whenever they want to come up with Tata Docomo, they take Tata Docomo. So what they do, what they can do is like they will take Tata prepaid, prepaid plan, that system, and make necessary changes and will release it to the market, right? So why don't they take plan like that? That is nothing but like that means within your IT industry or company, if you take which are the activities you are performing, not only development or not only testing, everything, every task, whatever you are performing, it will get tracked somewhere with the help of some system. For everything today, systems are available. Okay, so why means for better management and maintenance purpose. Even developers, yesterday I was talking about it, if you remember. So developers, whatever the code they come up with, that code day by day they will maintain in a systematic approach. Okay, so that one how you will manage is like test management tools. Also you can call it as like configuration management tools. Test management tools, also you can consider it as like configuration management tools. So there are so many tools available, like from HP Test Director, Quality Center, Application Lifecycle Management. So Test Director and Quality Center originally developed by Mercury Interactive, later taken over by HP in the era of 2008. So Test Director is like your standalone application, how you use your Word. Okay, so that is what nowadays nobody is using. It's completely expired, but later that they come up with Quality Center. Quality Center is completely web-based application, like how you access your Gmail or Yahoo Mail, exactly like that. That is uh, completely web-based application. Here also you will come up with so many versions like 8.0, 8.1, 8.2, 8.5, 9.0, 10.0, and latest version of Quality Center is like 11. 11 they renamed it to like application lifecycle management. With the help of test director or quality center, which are the activities you will be performing with respect to testing. Means analyzing the requirements, creating the test cases, executing the test cases, and reporting defects and tracking. These are the stuff you will be able to perform either with the tool like test director or quality center. But latest version QC11 they made it as ALM. Why means and another important thing is whole of your framework you can maintain in your quality center. So whenever you are maintaining in your quality center, you may get a chance to maintain versions. Okay, releases. Exactly like that means like including your automation framework, not only automation code, even developers daily they will be coming up with their code changes, right? Even those one also they can track with the help of ALM. So that is the reason they come up with the name itself, they changed it to ALM. Okay, so this is nothing but like your ALM. Most of the projects going for like quality center or ALM. From SEG, Silk Manager you will come up with, but that is not most of the companies were not using, very few companies were using. But only the thing is you will be able to manage only test cases. You cannot track like results or something like that. Okay, that is nothing but like self manage. Then from IBM, ClearQuest. So ClearQuest purpose is like only for tracking bugs, reporting bugs and tracking. Okay, you cannot go for like analyzing and requirements, you cannot track. Even test cases also, even execution reports also you cannot track. Only you will be able to report your bugs and track. Like that, open source tools also you may come up with like Bugzilla, Zira. These are open source tools, but only for uh, reporting bugs and tracking. Okay, so these are the different things you will come up with in your test management tools. So there are three types of tools you will come up with: functionality, performance, and management tools. So this is what I already told. So with respect to market sharing, with respect to technical expertise and cost. Okay, so These are the different types of tools you will come up with in your automation front. So mostly if you learn QTP, then other tools you can get into with a little bit guidance. Okay, so this is nothing but like types of automation tools. Okay, but you have to get the job means you learn QTP end to end and very high level. If you are seriously looking for Selenium front means even Selenium also you can learn. That is also, but only the thing is like Java you should be aware. It doesn't mean like in detail you don't want to go for very little bit basics like uh, any of the programming language you go for means what are their data types, variables, constants, then conditional statements, iterative statements. But all these are if you go for C or C++ very easy, but Java means it's a bit hard. Okay, so interfaces like that, object references, classes, everything will come up with in your Java. So those are the different things, basic stuff. If you learn means even it will be very interesting working with your Selenium. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Normally that is what, right? So as soon as you get released, you go for like smoke testing or sanity testing, then you go for regression testing. Finally, you will go for user acceptance testing. So regression testing you'll be doing again and again whenever you're getting release. Okay, but in middle depends on the situation. You may go for like regression testing means retesting also gets involved. So ad hoc testing and integration testing when you go for means like whenever multiple modules were integrated, you're doing regression testing means it involves integration testing also. Okay, so whenever multiple modules were integrated, so those features you are testing is that is nothing but integration testing, like compose mail and sync mail. Whenever you successfully compose an email, it will automatically go and store it to sync mail, right? This is the kind of functionality you have to validate means you can go for. So that is what regression testing means. Integration testing also gets involved. But the process means first you go for smoke testing and sanity testing, then unit testing, complete flow if you go for means unit testing, then integration testing, then finally once whole application gets ready, at that time you go for like system testing. Once all modules, what are the modules available in your application, or another way you can go for means let us suppose in your application you are having four modules: module A, module B, module C, module D. Module A taken care by like one team. Module B taken care by team B, let us assume. Module C taken care by team C. Module D taken care by team C. Module A, team A is developing. Module B, team B is developing. So once module A and module B, these two modules were done independently, then what they have to do, these two modules needs to be integrated. So before integration you'll be independently testing these two modules whenever you are getting new release. So whenever these two modules integrated and make a release, at the time what you do, you'll come up with integration testing as well as regression testing, like that. It depends. Okay. uh that is also correct point. So whenever you make change request, even you go for regression testing. Okay, you go for regression test. You can do. Normally the thing is if you go for project, first agile methodology if we go for, so in agile methodology, in developers they will be developing, then scrum testers will be there, right? Scrum testers, they will be testing in dev environment. That is a kind of like features independently. Okay, then that is nothing but like smoke testing, as well as what are the features they were enhanced, they were come up with, that is what they will be testing. Then after they're done with scrum testing, they will make it as a like QA release. QA release testing release. Original testing thing will be happening. So at the time they go for regression testing. You will call it as like QA testing. Okay? So like the different projects, different frameworks, different clients, different companies, they follow their own terminology, their own process. One project you are following, this is the process means there is no need like everybody follows the similar process or similar standards. But very high level integration testing means what you have to remember is like whenever two modules were integrated, at the time you go for integration testing. Whenever change requests or new enhancement they were developed and send it to you, you go for regression testing. Okay. So before that, smoke testing, sanity testing you for, then regression testing, then integration testing, then user acceptance testing. Before user acceptance testing, you go for system testing also. Okay. Before integration testing, you go for system testing. This is also you can understand. That is how. What of the test case you come up with, those one you can use for complete regression testing, system testing, integration testing. But it again depends. Your business is demanding integration test cases. Very high level, you should come up with. Okay, integration test scenarios they are asking you means they should come up with. Your business is demanding you. Your application is demanding you like come up with integration test cases. If there is a need, you should come up with. Okay. Any more questions? No questions? Okay, no questions means tomorrow same time we'll meet. Okay. That's when I thanks for your time. Okay. Have a good day. See you. Bye. Bye.